Welcome back to the third reading in the Wherefore Art Thou Journals series. If you're new here, every Thursday we explore selected passages from Romeo and Julian's private journals, the entries that were never meant for anyone else to read. Today, we're returning to Romeo, but we've jumped forward a few entries in the book. During that gap, Romeo has still been wrestling with everything that happened with Bali, and thinking about the night his cousin Ben discovered what truly happened, and that Romeo is gay. That revelation happened in the moment, the night Ben came over, in the emotional chaos of that very first entry. This new entry marks the next step toward everything Romeo is destined for. These are the moments that slowly, quietly begin leading him to Julian. Today's reading is from November 25th, 2022, the morning after Thanksgiving. Romeo spent the holiday with his cousin Ben, his aunt and uncle, and his own parents. What we're reading is only the first part of that entry, written the next morning when everything is still fresh in his mind. So let's dive in. Friday, November 25th, 2022, 9:37 a.m. Entry by Romeo. Yesterday was weird. Ben brought his friend along, and right away something fell off. First, he had curly hair. That's my kryptonite with guys. I hadn't told Ben, so it made me wonder about his motives. The guy was nice though, and Mom's cooking helped break the ice. Honestly, I can't even remember his name. I'm terrible at that. He asked about my artwork because apparently Ben had mentioned it. Then he asked to see some of my work, just as Mom was serving cheesecake for dessert. I was hesitant, not gonna lie. After dinner, I grabbed a few loose sketches, but I don't like showing people my sketchbook. Instead, I also showed him a couple of paintings Mom has up, one of which is based on a family photo she replaced with my art. He kept going on about it, making me uncomfortable, especially when he put his hand on my shoulder. For a moment, I wondered if he was flirting with me. Turns out I was wrong. He asked if I'd paint him and his girlfriend for Christmas. After that, I realized he wasn't hitting on me. Despite the curly hair, he wasn't my type anyway. He showed me a reference photo and asked if I could use it for the painting. I told him to either send it to me or print it out and give it to Ben to pass along. A printed copy would be easier for me to work with. Ben's friend asked what I charged. Mom was right there and I knew she'd say quote a higher price, but I said $200. He was fine with it. After they went to the kitchen, Mom smiled and said, "That was nice, but never undervalue your skills." I get it, but I figured he's young like me and might not have much money. I didn't want to rip him off. I'm glad Mom didn't press or bring up the Bali situation. Ben, though, is another story. Sometimes he doesn't know when to mind his own business. I went to my room for a few minutes and Ben followed me to talk. He asked a bunch of questions I didn't feel like answering, like if I'd talked to Bali yet, then tried to give me unsolicited advice. I told him to stop, and thankfully he did. His advice was the typical toxic masculine kind. Suck up your pride and apologize. What I really wanted from Ben was support, but I'm not sure I'll get it. I kind of regret telling him about it. He asked what I thought of his friend, so I told him honestly I thought he was flirting with me when he kept touching my shoulder. Ben apologized and explained, yeah, he's like that with everyone, his parents are the same. That made me feel better, especially knowing he has a girlfriend, but you never know, he could be bi. Ben laughed and started talking about his friend's conquests, which was the last thing I wanted to hear. Thankfully, Mom called me downstairs, giving me the perfect escape. I'm not one to share personal info like that, and when I meet someone, I plan to take things slow. I want my first experience to be meaningful, not just some hookup like so many classmates talk about. Call me old-fashioned, but I want to build something real and authentic. Not sure why I didn't write this all last night. Probably too tired from turkey. It always knocks me out. It's priceless for Dad, though. He's usually asleep on the couch right after eating, and sure enough, he was again this year. He'll probably crash on my aunt and uncle's couch at Christmas, too. Ben, my aunt and uncle, and Ben's friend all left around 9 p.m. At some point, Dad helped Ben's friend print out the reference picture from his phone. I didn't even know that Dad knew the Wi-Fi password. Turns out, Ben's friend guided him through it. Dad had just woken up from his turkey nap when he heard the guy talking to Mom about needing the photo printed. I guess Dad wanted to look tech-savvy. My aunt and uncle also asked what I wanted for Christmas. I told them I didn't need anything, but they insisted. They'll probably give me money or a gift card for art supplies, which works for me. It's Black Friday, but I'm staying far away from that madness. I'm not about fighting for the last item. Anyway, I should head downstairs to grab something to eat. I've been up for 90 minutes and hunger's kicking in. I also need a canvas for my painting, but I'll check around the house first. I'm pretty sure I have some, and Mom will know for sure. This is where we really begin to see the importance of Romeo's relationship with his mother. The way she shows up for him, supports him, and refuses to let him underestimate himself or his talent as an artist. The fear from the situation with Bali still lingers over everything Romeo does. There's even a moment where he almost misreads Ben's intentions when he brings a friend over, but it becomes clear very fast that Romeo is being introduced for an art commission, not anything else. We also get a glimpse into Romeo's type, and let's just say curly hair, it's his kryptonite. You can also feel the potential tension starting to build around the Bali situation through the things that Ben lets slip. That subtle thread of toxic masculinity that comes from his environment working for Mr. Montague's construction company. All of this is going to matter later. I'd love to know, what's your theory on what happens next? I am curious. If you're enjoying these readings, hit like, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a Thursday entry. And if you want the full version of this chapter and everything I don't read in these videos, you can order Wherefore Art Thou Journals Volume 1 through the links in the description or at romeoandjulian.com. Until next Thursday, keep your heart open, your journal close, and your story unfolding.